every fantasy gamer is looking for an edge, either through waiver wire or through trade. And sometimes the NFL, through attrition, just gives us a gift of a player to go after. Unfortunately, Marquise Brown suffered an injury that could impact the rest of his career. It looks like it is from reports right now. Robbie Anderson just got traded to the Cardinals, so we're getting a lot of ambiguity, some volatility in this situation. But a player to pay attention to, who's rostered on about 61% of leagues right now in Sleeper, and he was started in about 34% of games yesterday, is Rondale Moore. And the reason why is because this guy's been getting targets lately. Yesterday, he caught 6 passes for 49 yards on 10 targets and had a 27.8% target share on 44 air yards. In his last 3 games, he's had a 21.9% target share, 7.7 targets per game with a total of 23 targets and 120 air yards. He's also had 109 yards after the catch, catching 16 balls for 128 yards. What this tells me is that he's a key factor in the offense. They're looking his way, and they're going to be looking at his way even more with Marquise Brown out of the picture. Sure, Robbie Anderson's coming in, but he's going to have to transition, and Robbie Anderson is probably going to take those deep targets. Rondell Moore is a low A-dot guy, hovering around the line of scrimmage, getting those dink and dunk balls. Kyler Murray's in the backfield, running circles, running crazy, finds Rondell Moore open on the outlet and just chucks it to him and does it about 5 to 10 times a game, and that's what you're going to get here. So you're not going to get the upside from the air yards, but you are going to get some consistency through the volume and should continue to get volume as this offense transition to what it's trying to be now. Also, you're going to have DeAndre Hopkins coming back. I imagine DeAndre Hopkins is going to come back to commanding a high-end target share. However, this is a completely different role compared to what Rondell Moore has. Rondell Moore has the ability to get you yards after the catch, has the ability to get you spike weeks due to his athleticism. Looking at his combine stats, and I remember talking about him on this channel from back in the day. He's a 5'7" wide receiver. One of the reasons why he's closer to the line of scrimmage, but runs a 4.37 40-yard dash, 91st percentile size adjusted speed score, has a 97th percentile burst score. This guy's explosive and he's fast. So if you give him any room to work, he could be gone. He's also thick for his size, 5'7", 180 pounds. So he does have some decent contact balance and moves very well in a phone booth. One thing to be considered here is a second-round draft capital. This team drafted him early, wanted to make him a big weapon. Injuries has impacted his career, not just at the NFL, but at the college level. And college injuries really hurt him. Probably would have been a first-round pick if he was able to play his whole career, but injuries wiped him out. When he was healthy at Purdue, he was very productive and was considered one of the top talents in college football at the wide receiver position. And Devy Fantasy Football, he was a hot commodity in the early portions of his career. A lot of people were spending high draft capital to get him, and now we are here where he's getting his opportunity to succeed, where he could be a focal point of the offense. He's still rostered just 61% of leagues, so there's going to be a hot waiver wire claim for him this week. A lot of people are going to be going after him. A lot of fantasy analysts write waiver wire articles on players being rostered in 50% or less in leagues, but 61% isn't much more. So there's still some meat on the bone out there for fantasy gamers to get in on Rondell Moore. And you got to think of him as a guy that you just throw in the right matchup, close your eyes, and you know what? There is going to be a time or two where he does have his big game, and he'll probably have his low-scoring games as well because that average depth of target's not there, so he's not getting that boost in the yardage total unless he hits on some yards after the catch. But he does have the potential to hit you on the yards after the catch due to his size-adjusted speed, his ability to maneuver through traffic, and he's a small guy who's very explosive, and he's in situations when you're getting those close targets that you can get the ball in space and be able to get those chunk plays. The volume's there right now, over 20% target share, which is something you want in wide receivers, and that should allow him to be somewhat consistent to some level. So when you are putting him in your lineup, you know you're getting a wide receiver who's getting targets. And that's all I can tell you. He's a wide receiver that's going to get you some targets, and in the right spot where the defense allows him to slip away on a play or two, he's going to give you a boom week. If that doesn't happen, he might give you okay production to borderline production. But there is value to that because you know what you're going to get, and you're not going to get as many games where he's going to flatline on you, dying on your deathbed, on your roster, in your lineup, because he is getting touches and targets. However, the boom weeks are going to be very volatile, but he will give you something in your lineup, a good guy to have stashed, a good guy to put in your flex from here and there, and you're just playing the matchups depending on who you got at wide receiver on the rest of your depth chart. But let me know what you think about Rondell Moore. Are you rostering him? Do you already have him rostered? A lot of people have been out on him over the years because he hasn't been productive, but this looks like this could be his time to shine due to the amount of targets that are flowing his way, due to his athletic gifts. So you may want to have your ear to the ground on him. I'm not saying you have to roster him. I'm not saying you have to get him. I'm saying you need to pay attention to him because there is some things going his way right now in the offense that could allow him to be productive. And he has been productive on a certain level, just not top tier yet. But I want to thank you for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. It's really going to help you out. I'm dropping quick hitting news on these guys to pick up, to trade for, or whatever you need to help your teams out, along with waiver wire videos, trade videos, rankings, and everything else. I want to thank you for watching, though, and I'll catch you on the next video.